Hello, people of YouTube. My name is Steve Gray, and thank you for watching. And today may be a milestone for me. And I say that because this may be the last video I actually shoot with my cell phone camera, which I have been using since day one. I started with the Note 4, got an LG G6, and I have been continually using my LG G6 for camera and for my videos for quite a while at this point in time. Got a GoPro Hero 8. So we'll see how good that is with my lighting setup situation. And maybe we'll try that out either tomorrow or possibly Friday. We'll see how that pans out. And when I got to mess around with that a little bit, figure out the settings, how to use it, things along those lines. And we'll see how it looks. If it looks better than these videos, I will continue to use it as opposed to using my cell phone camera. So I know it doesn't look the best, especially when there's no natural light out. I know my Yashahime reviews every Sunday, they look a lot better than most of my videos because my camera does not like low light, unfortunately. But today we're talking about Re:Zero Season 2, Episode 21, or Re:Zero Season 2, Part 2, Episode 8, whichever you prefer. And we start off with Subaru, Otto, and Garfield kind of saddling up, getting ready. And don't forget Beatrice, too, Land Dragon. They're all getting ready to go to the mansion in order to defeat the Debowler. Let me see if I have her actual name here. I know I got it written down somewhere. Elsa is her actual name. It's not a spoiler. We've had that before. And we kind of get a bunch of different aspects, a lot of different things going on in different places. So it's a little bit confusing, but at the same time, we'll kind of learn how Subaru's plan all came together. So Garfield is finally ready to leave the sanctuary. We find out that him and Frederica, I believe, actually have the same father, and don't have different fathers, even though he was told they do. Who knows, it was kind of confusing, that little tidbit there. But his blood is diluted as well, so he can leave the sanctuary because he is not full half, whatever, demi-human, whatever the demi part of that is. He is not a full half, he is less than that, even though he's very, very powerful. And he is going to ultimately be the one that goes against Miss Debowler herself and try to defeat her as well. So we see a little flashback of Otto going to Ram and having her help. And one, she did it because to put Garfield in his place. Two, she wanted to kind of get Roswell back on track, so that way he, would go back to where he needs to be. And then three, she wants to kind of do it as a little bit of a favor to Subaru, but at the same time, not really. She doesn't want him to know about it. And we end up learning later that Puck is alive, and he is now in a different necklace at this point in time, which I personally didn't know. So that was a delightful surprise that Puck is alive. Amelia doesn't realize that Puck is alive, and I think for the next part of this, Amelia can't realize that Puck is alive. So Ram goes to Roswell, and basically they have a nice little conversation saying that, if you're a demon, die by demon, magic, die by magic, fire, die by fire, etc. That was kind of the oath they made to one each other. We learned that Roswell was actually one of the ones that raided Ram and Rem's village and killed all of their people, which is really messed up, kind of forcing her into servitude, into a point where where Ram planned, and probably Rem as well, planned on killing him at some point in time. And now they are fighting. We kind of ended with a fight scene. Roswell also shows up before this happens and talks to Amelia and says, hey, me and Subaru are kind of, one and the same. For these reasons, you don't think he just did all this stuff to manipulate you for his own reasoning? And he was like, no, I don't. He's not. He is simping over me a little bit, but he's also telling me the things I'm doing bad and allowing me to grow as an individual person myself, as opposed to, we saw Roswell in the past just simping over Echidna and Shidna. I always mess up her name. Witch Agreed. We'll go with that. We'll stick with Witch Agreed or Miss Greed, so that way I can stop mispronouncing that in every single video. And he was just super, super hard sipping over her. Never questioning anything she did, where Subaru does question it. He says it like it is. He does love her, but at the same time, he can call her out on her bullshit when the time is needed, as he did in the previous episodes. And she's completed the trial. We see her going in to complete the second trial as well. And we think that Roswaal and her are going to fight. There's actually a scene where Amelia is like fully magicked up, ready to fight. But that's not the case. Now he's kind of like, interesting. I want to see how this whole situation plays out. And then eventually that leads into Ram and Roswaal in the same chamber with Ruzio. Roswaal, for whatever reason, wants to make it snow. So we learn that he was the one that actually created the spell to make it snow, drawing in the Great Rabbit that killed Subaru many episodes ago, if you remember the Great Rabbit. So that is probably going to make an appearance at some point in time. But Puck is also there helping Ram. So that'll be interesting to see how that fight plays out. I'm highly anticipating next episode is going to be fantastic. We're finally getting everything in place. We're getting back into the action. And I think next episode is going to pull me back in. This episode definitely pulled me back in a little bit, but there was definitely, kind of anticipation, me waiting to see some sort of crazy fight breakout that I never got. But I know it's going to happen next episode, so I'm sure I'll finally get my fighting fix in there as well. I do love me some good fighting anime. You can blame Dragon Ball Z and Yu Yu Hakusho for that. With my upbringing, that was what I had around at the time. A little bit of Inuyasha, not really too much. I think I've mentioned before that I haven't really fully watched that show, minus a few episodes here and there. So we get a nice little family reunion. Garfield meets Frederica, and he comes in to defend her. He's got these kind of crazy armored gauntlet things going on that we don't know a whole lot about. But the blade does absolutely nothing to him. So it's going to be him and Frederica versus the Debowler. He actually tells Frederica to go away in order to grab Rem and get her out of there, because Subaru showed up as well. He got Pietra. Pietra was like fearing for her life. And how do you kill a kid? Pietra is just this cute little adorable kid, and the Debowler is just like, nah, I'm just gonna cut your guts open. You're so cute. I bet your guts are gonna look cute too. And I was just like, how do you what goes in your mind to harm a kid? I understand it's an anime, but still, I can't understand the mind of someone that would hurt an innocent child that has done little to no wrong, unless they murdered somebody, but that's a whole different situation. So we're gonna skip right over that. And it was kind of cute. He was like, holy crap, you grew up. I should be calling you big bro, not big sis. And then she clocks him. It was kind of nice to see kind of the sibling dynamic between the two of them. I have a couple of siblings myself, and that is kind of it. When one's taller than the other, you pick on one another. That's just how it is. So Subaru got Pietra out of there. Subaru mentions that, normally I would go charging in, but I'm weak and I brought the cavalry. So I don't know what Otto is doing in all of this. He may be waiting outside of the castle. We don't really know, but he's probably going to be an interesting characteristic. We also end with Subaru going to see Beatrice. So it was nice to see Beatrice again. He was like, I'm going to drag you out of here. We can play in the sun. You're coming with me. Because if you don't remember, Beatrice, they had this whole scene with Beatrice before. I think it was technically the first part of the second season, where she's crying, saying she's been following the Witch of Greed forever, waiting for someone to come get her. And he is going to become that person for her Beatrice. I believe he is going to be the one that takes her out of there, and she is going to follow him from now on. Everything's going to go into place. The only two things that I foresee being a potential problem are possibly the snake, the poison viper. Not sure if that'll show up at some point in time. And then also the great rabbit. So those are two factors that we have seen that have not shown up yet for a long time. So I can definitely see the Great Rabbit coming back and causing an issue. And I think it might be one of those like kind of 180 things where we think everything is going to play out perfectly, but then something else gets involved with it as well and then just ruins everything. Subaru dies and has to redo everything all over again. I don't know if that's going to be exactly how that plays out, but I wouldn't surprise me. So, don't get too excited that everything's planning out as exactly as Subaru wants to, because the old saying, everything that can go wrong will go wrong. And if one little tiny thing, goes out of place, we're going to have an issue. What I think is going to happen next episode, it's probably just going to be his draw between, Roswaal and Ram and Puck. Probably just going to be a draw there. Not really sure what's going to happen with the Ruziu inside of the crystal. Maybe the magic will break her out of it or something. Who knows? That's going to be a battle. We're going to see Garfield probably killing the Debowler, most likely, if not her getting away. Again, that is also a possibility. But I think she needs to die. It would do everybody a great pleasure. I think every single Re:Zero anime fan ever would be very happy to see her get killed, no matter how pretty she is. Because she is an attractive woman, but I don't think I've ever wanted to see a person die more in an anime lately. She's done a lot of harm, and it's also kind of messed up because Roswaal was the one that hired her in the first place. So a lot of this isn't really her fault, but at the same time it is, because you can take the money and run. But if you're a bounty hunter, or if you're a hired hitman, you got to have a reputation, and let me tell you, she's got a heck of a reputation. And we'll see if Garfield actually ends up being able to defeat her. I don't think he is going to go full beast mode. The reason I don't think he's going to go full beast mode is because he has the gauntlets to defend himself, and he is going to need those in order to fight her. And obviously he wouldn't be able to wear those if he was in full tiger beast mode, giant and huge. He would be a lot easier target for her to hit and kill. So we'll see how that whole situation plays out. But we do know that she was hired by Roswaal in order to kill Beatrice, Pietra, Rem, and Frederica. Several characters which we have not seen for quite a while. So it was nice to see them again. It definitely was nice to see them again. So I think that's where we're going to leave this episode. I'm going to give this one a 7 out of 10. Pretty decent. Could have been a little bit better. Definitely liked it better than last episode. At the same time, we're getting all those crazy plots going on at the same time. But it seems like it's finally rolling into one general thing. So the confusion is slowly going out the window, which will be very happy for me, because it is. Sometimes you're trying to do too much with what you got, and it gets very confusing. And then make something that should be great kind of awful. I feel like that's kind of what happened to me last episode. Well, my light just died, so I guess I gotta sum this up. My name is Steve Gray. If you like this video, hit that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell, leave a like, and feel free to comment down below what you would like me to do for future anime, cartoon-related content. My name is Steve Gray. Thank you for watching, and as always, have a good one.